Alright, I know you're probably wondering at this point, why is a woman not coming up to do the Maid of Honor speech? Jen actually came to me when I actually went down to Florida for spring training to visit her. Her and Phil got all serious and wanted to ask me an important question, which I thought, oh, I'll be in the wedding, that's very honorable. But she actually asked if I could give the Maid of Honor speech. She asked if it would be awkward. And I said, no, Jen, it won't be awkward. But how about this? When I have my bachelorette party and I make you the best man and you have to pay for lap dances? So to start, Jen, growing up with Jen, my parents, obviously I was the first child, and my mom announced that she was pregnant, and I was really upset, because I mean, you know, I sat down with Mom and Dad and said, come on, we had this good thing going with the three of us. Now, I was only 3 at the time, but my conversation skills were nothing short of spectacular at that point. And to my parents' point, they didn't actually have Jen to give me another sibling. It's just basically because they knew they kind of messed up on me and they knew they could do better.
That's right. Sure did.
I wrote all this stuff down, so it'll be brief. I know you're hungry. I'm sorry. So the one thing I actually enjoyed about Jen was that once she was born, I actually understood the point of her arrival. Not to actually have a little sister, but now I had someone I could blame stuff on. You know, it's like, oh, who ate the last cookie? Jen did it, Mom. Jen did it. You know, who laid their toys on the stairs? Jen did it, Mom. Who peed their name Chuck on the front lawn in the snow? Jen did it, Mom. So I didn't get away with a lot of stuff, as you can see. I lived in her shadow in high school. Jen was a very decorated athlete. She played softball, D1. She went not D1. I'm sorry. She went to Cabrini or something. But same thing. Sorry, Cabrini people. She played college level sports. That's the important part. But I did live in her shadow the entire time while I was in high school. It was an honor. But the good part. So to meet Phil. Let me say the first time that I met Phil, Jen kind of prepared me, because Phil hadn't arrived. I was at Jen's house, it was a party. She said, Chuck, I'm dating this guy, he's really nice. You know, he's actually with the Phillies. And before I could even react, Phil walked in the door. And I looked and I said, man, my sister is dating Joe Blanton. I was so happy. But it turns out Phil wasn't Joe Blanton. He did have the goatee, it's gone. But it was really exciting. One of the things I really liked about Phil was that he actually called me out. He put me on the point. He said, you know, sometimes guys and girls' humor are different. And he said, come on, Chuck, who do you think's funnier? And I had to take back because, you know, Jen's my sister, Phil's a funny guy. So I obviously said Jen. Phil, I think you're funnier still. And meeting my dad, I thought, would be really hard for Phil, just because my dad's, you know, a very quiet guy. But when Phil mentioned Mustang, imagine you have a dog, and when you jingle keys to let him, hey, you want to go for a ride? My dad was like, when can I get in? When can I get in? When can I get in? For Mustang? So he definitely won him over at that point. So, you know, on a serious note, I think that, you know, Phil and Jen, I mean, obviously everyone here has had the presence to hang out with them, and to see what they are together is unbelievable. I mean, they feed off each other, they don't miss a beat, it's like they've been friends forever. And the one thing that I hope down the road is that, you know, when someone asks me, you know, who's taught you about unconditional love? You know, who has showed you the emphasis of being, you know, friends and making sure they're in your life? You know, who did that? And, you know, I'll proudly look at them and say, Jen did it. Thank you very much. Cheers to the bride and groom.